welcome to our next episode.
Yes, welcome. So last time we talked about parenting, memories and all that. And we also talked about schooling a bit. Like not schooling, but routine.
Memory loss also.
Memory loss, yes.
For me.
So today,
Wait, I have a question.
Okay.
So, we were talking about schooling and we didn't go into the details of it, right?
Yes.
I remember you telling me that people from here ask you really nonsensical questions कि अरे schools रहते हैं क्या वहाँ पर कैसे रहते हैं तो please tell us कि paint a picture for me कि school कैसा होता है and क्या क्या activities fun तकलीफ क्या क्या करते थे स्कूल में?
I'll tell you everything. So this is actually genuinely people get this doubt कि कश्मीर में स्कूल
Oh my God.
तो फिर तुम यहाँ क्या करने आए हो अगर वहाँ पे स्कूल है तो?
Oh.
But I'll tell you, as you said, paint a picture for you and everyone.
Yes.
So basically, schools in Kashmir, like I come from a rural area and mostly Kashmir is rural area. So we don't have benches.
मतलब?
Yeah, we don't have benches in schools.
So you sit on
the
ground.
carpet. There are carpets and the children sit down. They keep their bags in front of them and they write like that. And we have done our schooling in Kashmir this way only. And most 90% of Kashmiris have done schooling like that.
मतलब 10th तक?
हाँ. After when you get into college, then you see benches. And for us, if any of our friends was in a school, if there are benches, then it was a very big school and oh my God, तेरे school में bench है. We used to react like that.
Oh my God.
Because we have carpet. We usually sit on carpets in Kashmir.
Yes.
And some schools though were conducted outdoors in summers because they didn't want to take class in the classroom, so they took that stand of the blackboard, took it in the ground and used to usually government schools mostly conducted their classes in outdoors. Like people are passing to go to their farms to do farming and children are like learning and teachers are teaching. So this used to be the picture 4 years, 5 years back, not now. But now infrastructural things have changed.
You have attended such a school?
I have attended. My school was, I'll tell you, my school was.
But was it a big school या फिर बहुत ही छोटा?
My school was very small school. So it wasn't actually a registered school also. It was very different school, very unique. So it was just a school started by our principal who was Firdaus sir. He had started it and he hadn't registered it to any board. He used to bring books of IB board from Delhi and CBSE board for us, and the rule was if you are in first standard, then he used to give us second standard ke books.
Oh my God.
So we used to learn one class ahead. Like if we are in first, we used to learn second standard ka syllabus. It was the rule. It was very small school. We were, I think, 40 or 50 children in total, all classes.
From first to 10th?
It wasn't till 10th.
Then?
So I'll tell you, when I joined the school, I was the first batch.
Oh, nice.
I think I was in LKG and then I when I used to get promoted, then my juniors used to get filled and we used to the school grew up like that. And I remember I left when I passed my 5th, I completed my 5th and I left the school and came to Pune. So I guess it is till 6th only. So there are no, so then children leave the school and they go to some higher secondary school in 8th or whatever. But it was a really nice school. So we were 40 odd children. Everybody knows each other. Every teacher knows each other. Unlike big schools.
Yeah.
And we had a really great culture. That school didn't work like in a fixed pattern. कुछ भी होता था, आज सर का मन है पहाड़ चढ़ना है तो चलो. Seriously. And we had in our syllabus flower का वो structure. They actually took us to the mountain, took some flower, cut it in half and gave it to all the students. And this is petal, this is sepal, this is whatever the parts are called. And we were taught like that.
So nice.
Actually, it is. I realized it when I left the school. I used to
Yes.
feel when I was in that school कि यार क्या है ये school गरीब वगैरह वगैरह. I want to go to a big school where there is ground, there are benches, where there are a lot of children, lot of teachers. But no, now I miss that. So, I think it was different.
But this is what happens.
Yeah,
मतलब आप जो paint कर रहे हो picture, I would have wanted to be where you are, and you would have wanted to
Actually-
be in a school like
actually,
where I went to a school.
This is a very this is a human trait कि जो आपके पास
Yes.
है नहीं आपको वही चाहिए.
Grass is always greener on the other side. ऐसा लगता है, but not the truth.
So-
We realize it later.
It happens like कि अगर आपकी बहन आपके सिबलिंग को कुछ मिला है तो हमेशा लगा कि उसको ज़्यादा मिला उसकी प्लेट मुझे चाहिए. It is like that. But now when I look back to that school, I visit it every year when I go back home. I meet my teachers. It was the best thing that has happened in my life. I have learned a lot from there, like my morals, my values, and my principles of life. Even my confidence of speaking in front of the cameras or on the stage that is the reason, that school is the reason, because our teachers used to emphasize on that you should be able to speak anytime.
Right.
Like if you want to be a good speaker, you don't need to prepare. So they never gave us time to prepare on the assembly and all. The sir used to say, you get up, come,
Oh my God.
speak.
That's scary.
No, it is not actually scary. It is scary for some, but for me it worked actually. It helped me a lot to grow as a human being, to be extrovert, to like how to talk to people, how to befriend people. It is actually helpful.
But yeah, true. Even if I went to a big school, so I have.
That is what I was
studied-
going to ask you.
Haan.
That you have like studied in a big school where there are a lot of people,
Yes.
lot of students.
Yes.
So how was like I want to ask you that how was the feeling of being in such a big school like where everything is busy, there are coordinators, there are a lot of students, then there is a event going on, then you
Yes.
have some competitions, you have exams and all. So how was it like?
Exactly the way you described. So I've been to 3 schools, actually 4,
Oh.
but 3 schools here in India.
Okay.
जब मैं आई थिंक फर्स्ट स्टैंडर्ड तक थी तब हम पूना में थे, सो आई डोंट रिमेम्बर मच ऑफ इट, बट फ्रॉम सीनियर KG to 7th standard I was in a school in Thane, which was a big school. So we had like from division A to I think division D, and we had at least 50 kids in one class.
That is 5 schools of my school.
Exactly. So like dense, it was a city.
Actually,
It
it
was
is
a city.
actually a district of Kashmir.
Yes, and luckily we had a huge ground for
Oh,
that
wow.
school, and it was a big building and a nice school. But it was, the thing is, I would like to give credit to my teachers, my parents, is because क्योंकि मैं curricular activities में बहुत ज़्यादा invested थी, and I would participate in dramas. I was a competitive gymnast, so I was representing my school. I was also participating in inter-school drama competitions, so that helped me. So everyone knew me in the school.
Nice.
All the teachers, even higher secondary class के जो principal थे, so we had secondary, higher secondary, they also, everyone knew me because I used to represent the school in sports, in culture, in art, in dramatics, everything. So it was a busy school क्योंकि बहुत कुछ चलता रहता है बड़े स्कूल में, and then you have 3 or 4 entrances, 3 or 4 staircases, so you can go
Yeah.
up from here and come out from a totally different side of the school. So it was pretty nice, but because I got that special love and attention, I didn't feel कि I'm lost in that school, because a lot of kids probably feel that कि personal touch
नहीं है.
शायद नहीं मिल पाता है टीचर्स का या attention, which I got because
You were that guy who can play basketball and guitar also.
I can't play neither, but I was this multi-talented kid.
Yeah, you still are. But then, talking about that, you told that you were engaged in a lot of extracurricular
Yeah.
activities. When people say that, what are schools like in Kashmir, there aren't any extracurricular things.
Yes,
At
I
all.
want to ask you about that. Has it changed or?
I don't think so it has, because when I go back, when I see children going school, obviously the quality has changed, infrastructure
Yeah.
has changed. There are a lot of things that has changed, but there is still a lot we have to change. But you know, it is just you go, you don't even have a timetable. They just like in what here happens, you don't like teach every subject every day ना, you had a timetable like
Yes.
आज ये सब्जेक्ट, उसके साथ पीटी का एक क्लास, उसके साथ तबला का एक क्लास होगा. नो, सारे सब्जेक्ट हर दिन ही होंगे कश्मीर में. हाँ, सारे सब्जेक्ट हर दिन होंगे और बस खूप अभ्यास, फक्त अभ्यास आणि म्हणजे सिर्फ पढ़ाई. और बस ये डिसाइड होता है कि हाँ सुबह का क्लास आज ये सर लेंगे, ये उसके बाद का ये सर. दिस इज द टाइम टेबल.
Did you like? कैसे थे आप स्कूल में? कैसे थे? Were you this mischievous kid or
Oh my
were you
God.
studious? या
See,
फिर
I was dear to my teachers. Definitely, every teacher liked me, and I was very close to every one of them.
हाँ.
But I
पर
was annoying. Oh my God, I was very, very, very mischievous, very naughty kid.
Really?
And I was this hyperactive कि जिसमें बहुत ज़्यादा extra energy कहाँ से आती पता नहीं, and very talkative. And my like मेरा आवाज़ भी बहुत ज़ोर से किससे वो कानों में दुखने वाला.
अरे बाप रे.
And I was an extrovert, highly extrovert. So मतलब मुझे ऐसा punishment भी दे देते थे कि ये कर वो कर, and I used to happily do that.
बाप रे, मैं घरी पेरेंट्स ला कॉल केलाय वगैरे.
नाही असं नाहीच व्हायचं आमच्या स्कूल. and this never happened in our school. Nobody called, because our school culture was that way कि we were correct to our teachers the way कि कभी like never ऐसा कभी हुआ ही नहीं कि पेरेंट्स को बुलाने की जरूरत पड़ी. I have never seen any parent of anyone in my school come there, and we were not allowed to get punished, like, and no teacher was allowed to punish us. But I have
डिसिप्लिन करना है, punish.
मैंने बहुत मार खाया वैसे, not by teachers. From like in winters we used to go to different schools because you can't go to school now, so we have winter tuitions. So I have gone to winter tuitions where I was beaten like anything. But now when I remember, I laugh a lot because हमने इतने कांड करे थे.
बाप रे.
फिर मार खा के भी अभी मार खाया हुआ है और हम नेक्स्ट वाले की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं. So what happened is, you know, Kashmiri dramas वगैरह. Are you introduced to them?
Yes.
So
Very much
when I was a very small child, there used to be a very famous actor who used to do this small skits. They used to make CDs and it used to come on TV. And he's called Qayyum Badshah. And he's very famous. He's still very famous. And he had come to our village to shoot something.
Oh, nice.
And he was very famous, and this is very unusual in Kashmir na, कि something shooting is like, obviously there is a lot of shooting happening in Kashmir, but then in our village,
गाँव में नहीं होता.
so the place where we go, like where we used to go for winter tuitions, I was the youngest kid.
Oh my God.
And everybody went to see that shooting, and nobody came to the class. I also went to see the shooting, but I thought, I should go to the class, I guess, and my bag, everything is there. So I came back and I sat there, and that sir, उन्होंने मुझे ही पकड़ लिया कि भाई कुठे, और मैंने सबका मार खाया है, like यहाँ पे डंडे से मारा है उन्होंने.
क्योंकि उनका नाम लिया आपने कि ये
नहीं,
वहाँ गए.
मैं नाम लिया ही नहीं, मैं बस आया कि मैं से खुश हो के आए हैं कि सर हम तो शूटिंग देखने गए थे, आप भी चलो.
Oh my goodness.
I was beaten like anything. I don't think, मतलब I was that child जो कांड करते थे, but हम खुद ही उसको संभाल लेते थे. Like never reached to teachers. And we had that bro code in our classroom कि whatever happens in these four walls. No, nothing gets out of here.
Wow.
And it was a rule in our classroom, and we were really close friends. We were 10 people, 5 girls, 5 boys, and we have done a lot of things, but nothing has came out of that premise of 4 walls.
Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I have done a lot of cons, but nothing has been caught till date.
Can you tell us?
No, I can't.
Give away one con.
No.
That brings me to me.
Yeah.
I was not this कांड करणारी मुलगी. To be
Seriously?
मैं I'll tell you one funny incident. So I must have been in first or second standard, and my mother used to come for all the parent teacher meetings. And because my father used to be working, and during daytime he used to go work, and I was at school, so he never could attend those meetings. But one day he was probably home and had holidays, so the Baba ala for a change, for the parent teacher meeting, and he was meeting my class teacher for the first time. So teacher was like, yeah, Diksha's father. And the teacher was like, you are Diksha's father, okay, I need to talk to you. And he was like, oh my god, काय आता करते ही मुलगी. So then teacher was like, she studies well, but she finishes her studies first, and then she distracts everyone else, and she talks to everyone else, and nobody is able to finish their studies. And my father on top of that is like, she finishes her studies na, forget about it, whatever she does later. So the teacher must have been this, that oh my god, like father like daughter must have happened in her brain. So I was that type of a child where खोड्या काढणं wasn't my thing, but I must have presumed कि I have finished studying, so the rest everyone must have studied, मतलब done with their studies, so let's chat.
I can imagine.
But that's one change that has happened. I was very chatty as a child.
Same. I still am.
I'm not any. I mean, I am, but with my core people.
Yeah, I know. That happens with time. But I'll tell you about the can'ts you asked me. I remember of a thing. You know, I'll tell you the level of my can'ts. I have driven my school van.
म्हणजे?
Like
driven?
Yeah.
When you were a child?
Yeah, I have driven it because the school van driver was my friend.
What?
So what used to happen? We had two routes. So if बीच में हमारा स्कूल है, यहाँ से एक रूट आता था, then it used to drop the children from that they have picked and then go to this route, bring the children back and drop them here. And it wasn't the school van. The school had rented it. So that driver, he was the owner of the van, and he was my very good friend, and he was young also. So जब हम जाते थे तो हमारे साथ प्रिंसिपल बैठे होते थे वैन में, एंड देन माई स्कूल वैन ड्राइवर यूज्ड टू टेल द प्रिंसिपल कि मैं अकेला होता हूँ, वो छोटे बच्चे होते हैं, उनको वैन में बैठाने के लिए कोई नहीं होता, तो मेरे साथ आफरीन को भेज दो दूसरे रूट पे. So then I used to drive it.
Oh my god.
And I have learned driving like that. I used to shift gears for him, like initially.
Really?
He used to tell me, whenever I press clutch, you shift gears. So I knew कि अभी second gear डालना है, अभी third gear डालना है, अभी fourth gear में गाड़ी, अभी ऐसा करना है. And I knew everything what we have to do. And when van was empty, I drove it for the first time. And then he told me कि now you can take over. So I have driven my school van when I was in 5th standard. I was 11 years old, I guess, and I have driven the car.
Afrin, my goodness. Hey, please परत करू नको. आता म्हणजे
Never.
You look older also than your age, but
yes. And I had made him to, you know, उस गाड़ी में वो बेस ट्यूब लगवा लो वगैरह वगैरह. I had told him कि नहीं चाहिए ही हमें.
You were a cool kid, yeah. You knew all these things. I was this lost in my own world.
No, but our era was different. In our era, the Bluetooth, pen drive, Honey Sing, craze was there.
I have also seen that. Let's stick to the. We were talking about mischief, funny, all these things. So, sir, I remembered one thing. I mean, my parents, if they watch this, they're going to probably find out about this for the first time, or they already knew it because they're older than me. So it wasn't just schooling for me. So I used to be, like I told you, a gymnast, theater करती थी, गाना गाती थी, classes जाती थी, ये वो सब करती थी. So one day I remembered it was too much for me because मेरे बिल्डिंग में सब दोस्त बिल्डिंग में लुका छुपी ये वो सब खेलते थे. I used to be in training or rehearsing or at some concert singing. So one day I remember 2 of my then best friends were walking me to gymnastics. और मुझे इतना मज़ा आ रहा था उनके साथ. I was like, यार, how can I avoid going to gymnastics? How can I avoid? तो हम तीनों ही थे, okay? There was nobody else with us. But I pretended that I'm vomiting. For whom? No idea. तो फुटपाथ से चलते चलते लाइक करके मैंने एक्टिंग किया कि मुझे उल्टी हो गया. nobody was with us, no adult, nobody, but story बनानी थी ना. Then we went home and my mother was like, what are you doing home? Like, you need to be there, gymnastics चल रहा है. And I was like, आई मेरे पेट में बहुत दर्द है और मुझे उल्टी भी हुआ वगैरह. And then you can ask my friends also. And then they were like, अच्छा कौन आए थे आपके साथ? तो मैंने बताया ये और ये मेरा नचिकेत नाम का बचपन का ये वाला नचिकेत नहीं, दूसरा मेरा एक्चुअली मेरे फर्स्ट गाय फ्रेंड का नाम भी नचिकेत है. एनीवे दैट्स अ डिफरेंट टाइम, डिफरेंट स्टोरी. तो नचिकेत और मुनुताई करके उसकी बड़ी बहन मृणाल.
So just not to lie, you actually pretended that you are vomiting.
But pretended. I didn't actually vomit, पर फील आना चाहिए ना.
मेथड एक्टिंग
तब से कर रही हूँ मैं. जीसस. तो देन मैंने बोला हाँ नचिकेत और मुनुताई आए थे मेरे साथ. तो मम्मी ने बोला हाँ ठीक है मैं उनसे पूछती हूँ करके. शी डिडंट गो ऑफ कोर्स, बट देन तब से मुझे टेंशन हो गया कि ओ माय गॉड नाउ शी इज गोइंग टू आस्क, नाउ शी इज गोइंग टू आस्क. बट माय मदर हैड फाउंड आउट यार. आई मीन लाइक शी इज माय मदर. सो लाइक अच्छा चलो डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं. डॉक्टर के आई टेक यू टू द हॉस्पिटल. मैं लाइक नाही नाव आय एम फाईन. नाव मला नो उलटी झाली ना आता जायचं डॉक्टरांकडे. तिला ऑफकोर्स उनको पता चल गया था. तो ऐसे टाइप की मैंने, बट आई ऑलवेज यूज्ड टू गेट कॉट यार.
मदर्स आर ऑलवेज सेम. लाइक माय मदर आल्सो यूज्ड टू से मी की अभ्यासाला म्हणजे यू शुड स्टडी नाउ, इट्स टाइम टू स्टडी. समटाइम्स शी यूज्ड टेल मी एंड आई यूज्ड टू बी लाइक भूख लगा है खाने के बाद. एंड देन आफ्टर व्हेन आई एम डन ईटिंग अभी तो नींद आ रही है. एंड शी यूज्ड ऑलवेज टेल मी कि अभी तू बोलेगा भूख लगा है, फिर बोलेगा नींद आए तो नो खाना फॉर यू, गपचुप पढ़ाई कंप्लीट कर फिर ही मिलेगा सब कुछ.
बट आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाई द सो मच फोकस वाज देयर ऑन स्टडीज, राइट? बिकॉज़ you didn't have any
actually I'll tell you
opportunities or extracurricular opportunities था ही नहीं.
Like you avoided the gymnastics opportunities avoided me.
Good one, good.
So
the region, avoided the region.
So for us being in Kashmir in a small village, we just had school yaar. We had nothing else to do. Like even if we went to the school, we had nothing to do. Just sit and read those subjects, do maths, learn science, learn languages, and nothing else. We wanted to learn computer, and our school didn't have resources to buy a computer. They were not financially that strong that they could buy a computer and then they could teach us. But there were lack of opportunities. Like you said, you were doing gymnastics, you were doing singing, you were doing other stuff. Me as a child, I also wanted to do all this. And it is not like that my school didn't want me to participate in all this. They did want me to participate in all this. But where would I participate? There is nothing. There is no competition. There is no stage. There is no opportunity. There is nothing like that. तो मुझे वो scene ही नहीं है वहाँ पे. Like there are Kashmiri singers, but they are ancestral singers. Like उनकी family में कोई है तो वो आगे करेंगे, या कोई श्रीनगर से है तो उसको उतना exposure मिला है, like because Srinagar is a big city.
Yeah.
So obviously there are some stories from the villages also. There will be one more.
Yes. But I am grateful that I got to do all those things as a child. But now in hindsight, when I look back, sometimes it used to be कि नहीं करना है आज, नहीं करना है आज, नहीं करना है, because there was so much given to me. You know, I had so many choices, and thanks to my parents, क्योंकि not मतलब बड़ी सिटी में each and every parent doesn't make that choice कि अपने बच्चे को आफ्टर स्कूल एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर में पार्टिसिपेट करवाएंगे, ऐसा नहीं. एक्चुअली मोस्ट ऑफ द पेरेंट्स वांटेड देयर चाइल्ड टू कम होम, स्टडी, ट्यूशन करके, क्योंकि क्लास में पहले आना है, फर्स्ट नंबर लाना है. माई पेरेंट्स वर नेवर वरीड अबाउट दैट एवर. They were like bring decent, मतलब अच्छे से marks करो. और but as a child it used to be sometimes
हाँ I know hectic.
हाँ hectic हो जाता था.
But you know talking about me not getting opportunities, now it helps me यार. I'll tell you why. Because now I have that sense ना कि पहले नहीं था ये. And I have that value of getting all those opportunities now. And whenever I do like make use of those opportunities, there is that X factor, that kaitari, that passion ki nahi abhi ye karna hi hai. Like if I get an opportunity to shoot a film or work on a film, jaan laga देंगे. Because in my whole childhood I have just imagined and wondered कि कैसे होता होगा यार ये सब, and no idea I had nothing. I told you ना, I used to think कि ये सब real होता है and cameras were put on people's faces.
Oh my god.
But then you know it helps, everything happens for the good.
Yeah.
क्योंकि अगर I also think कि अगर मुझे तब वो opportunities मिलती, like if I had got a chance to perform in my childhood or learn acting or learn singing also. I love singing and I want to learn singing and I will. But then I sometimes think कि अगर बचपन से ही मैं वो करते आता, and I know my parents would have put me on all this, my school would have let me do all of this, then I would have been a great performer by now. But now I will have to learn things from here.
Yeah.
Obviously I'll have that maturity, I'll have that sense of discipline and I'll do it very passionately, but then now learning it is a bit tougher. And so there is a right age of learning things now, and it is not actually problem in Kashmir only, it's a problem in whole of India. Like we don't give much importance to skill learning.
Yes.
We give importance to कि नहीं किताबी कीड़ा पढ़ो. Like I told you कि अगर if some child is weak in maths and good in sports, then we'll tell कि नहीं तू maths class को जा, but instead we should tell him कि नहीं तू sports class को जा and get better at that.
Correct.
So it is a universal problem in India, but we didn't have that stage to do, like in Pune we have elementary examinations for drawing.
Yes.
And there are a lot of children, a lot of students in Kashmir who want to paint, but there is nobody to teach them. Even if they do know how to paint, they have learned online, they don't have any stage to go and perform. Same with singing. When I came here, I got to know that तबले के exams होते हैं, singing के exams होते हैं, and you go to legit classes. I didn't have any idea of all this because we don't have all this. Even if we don't get to perform, at least all this culture, you know, Firudaya happens in Pune.
Yeah, but at college. But
college level,
inter-school drama competitions भी
इंटर स्कूल ड्रामा कॉम्पिटिशन्स होते हैं. वहाँ पे तो कॉलेज लेवल पे भी नहीं है. वहाँ पे कॉलेज लेवल पे इंट्रा कॉलेज एक स्पोर्ट्स का कर देंगे कुछ, तो उसका ऑनलाइन या कोई किसी बड़े ऑफिसर को बुला के कुछ तो ऐसा कर देंगे, मीडिया बुला के नाम के लिए. बट नथिंग हैपेंस, देयर इज नो सिस्टम ऑफ थिंग्स लाइक दैट, एंड आई थिंक इट्स हाई टाइम एंड वी शुड ब्रिंग समथिंग लाइक दैट देयर.
Like you said कि वहाँ कोई मतलब एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर है नहीं, क्योंकि देर आर नो टीचर्स टू टीच यू, राइट? एंड यूजुअली टीचर्स आर समवन दैट इंस्पायर अस एज अ चाइल्ड एंड वी लुक अप टू देम. तो whom did you look up to as a child in Kashmir?
I'll tell you, when I was a child, I didn't think of all this a lot. But then my teacher Firdaus sir, he was our principal in the school. He had a session every day in the assembly, 1 hour ka, and he used to give some speech and he used to talk about some things. And he always like told us some stories of some great personalities like Abraham Lincoln and all. I still remember those stories. And as a child, I used to listen to them very keenly and I used to get bored also. But then when I grew up, I realized that उसका impact मुझ पे हुआ है.
Nice.
And when I used to think of those things, when I'm like now I'm an adult, when I think of those things, those stories, that things that sir had told us that time, that what should we do, and I did those things and he made us to do that, and now I think wow yaar, it helped me a lot.
Yes.
So I think at that time I did not look up to him at all, but now when I think that he has been inspiration for me and he was a great teacher and I have learned a lot from him. And I'll tell you one more thing, I have learned things by myself. I'll tell you why. Because whatever I do, उसमें कुछ ना कुछ हो ही जाता है कांड. ऐसा कुछ हुआ ही नहीं है लाइफ में कभी सीधा जो मैं कुछ करने गया हूँ पहली बार और वो हो गया है. And it is my personality is like that. I am so clumsy as a person. So एक बार गलत हो गया, 2 बार गलत हो गया, गलत होते 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 हो जाता है वो फिर. So that is how I learn, and that is, and I think I have patience. So like when I used to wonder as a child कि यार film, my parents used to be like कि ऐसे मुझे चिढ़ाते थे कि जाना तो ऐसे चाइल्ड आर्टिस्ट करके जा, ईशान की सोरावस्ती जैसे तारे जमीन पर है वैसे तू भी जा, वैसे तू भी उसके जैसा ही है. So but I had the patience कि नहीं पूरा सीख के ही जाऊँगा. मुझे जब तक पता नहीं चलता ना कि ये कैसे बनता है उसके पहले नहीं जाऊँगा. So I think that patience and वो झल्लापन, like I was a झल्ला, you know, कि कुछ भी चल रहा है randomly, it helped a lot. And unknowingly, subconsciously, I heard, like I obeyed my elders. I used to think कि नहीं मैं तो बगावत ही करूँगा, वही करूँगा मैं. And मुझे मेरे दिमाग में यही होता है कि इसका तो नहीं सुनूंगा. I was a child like that कि हाँ ये बड़ा बोल रहा है ये नहीं कर रहे हैं मतलब इसी को करने जाना है.
Oh no.
I was a child like that, but then subconsciously now I realize कि I obeyed everything that they have told. And it has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
So you know now you were a busy child and you like you told you had a lot of like a hectic routine, but then what did you want to do? Like did you ever feel like you want to go ahead in gymnastics, or whom did you look up to in your life? Like who was your idol that इसके जैसा बनना है या ऐसा कुछ करना है या like for me it was in my childhood Kapil Sharma, but for you?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He's the reason I started loving performing, acting,
Wow.
films. Yes.
So, in my close proximity, I remember there were two very inspiring, important women, other than my mom and stuff.
Yeah.
Two very important women who, now that I look back, I'm like, oh my god, I used to look up to them as a child. I didn't realize it then. One was my drama जो direct करती थी, जो मेरे नाटक direct करती थी, नीता ताई. So she was gorgeous. She still is, but she was वो मेरे भाई की दोस्त थी actually. So she is older than me. वो 8 साल से बड़ी. मैं स्कूल में थी तब वो कॉलेज में थी. So she used to wear gorgeous clothes. मतलब and she used to मतलब वो बहुत अच्छी तरह से रहती थी. And she could communicate directions to me. I was a child and she could direct me so well. Now that I look back, it is difficult to direct children.
True.
She was amazing. So I used to, मतलब girl crush is the word now, but I used to be like बड़ा बन के इसके जैसे इतना सुंदर इतना खूबसूरत ऐसे कपड़े. I would love to talk like her. So she was one.
Nice.
And second person was my gymnastics की teacher Priyam Vadatai. और again she was also much older than me.
Obviously.
हाँ, but we used to talk a lot. She used to share things with me. She used to confide in me, emotions, क्या family drama, उसके personal life में क्या चल रहा है. And I was so little, but I used to understand everything.
Oh my God.
And now when I think about it, I was like, मुझे सब समझ में आता था. And I used to give her whatever answer, my brain का जो भी strength था तब. And she used to agree, मतलब she used to understand me.
Nice.
And that is such a beautiful quality as an adult. Because जब हम बड़े होते हैं, we try and be like, हाँ तू छोटा है, you don't know, you know, we disregard little children.
Yes.
Neither of them did that to me. I was so much younger than them, zero life experience. I was a child, but they never made me feel like it. So those two women, कुठेतरी सब कहा तो subconscious में they reside in me. मतलब the way they treated me as a child, they made me feel safe. First of all, because I was the youngest in all the dramas I've done. सब senior लोग मेरे साथ काम करते थे. I was the youngest. But Neeta Tai took care of me, and she never made me or my parents feel like कि because this industry has that vibe ना कि maybe not safe for children, this that. But I think because of her, my parents were okay कि मैं ड्रामा कर रही हूँ at such a young age. And also because of Priyam Vadatai, of course my आमचे सर होते जाधव sir, he was the pioneer of rope मल्लखांब and gymnastics in my school. बट प्रियमवदा ताई प्लेड अ ह्यूज पार्ट क्योंकि वो सब कॉम्पिटिशन्स में हमारे साथ आती थी एंड शी एंड आई वी हैड अ रियली स्पेशल बॉन्ड. म्हणजे आई रिमेंबर वन टाइम माई फादर बीइंग अमेज्ड कि यार ये इतनी छोटी है और ये इतनी बड़ी है बट दे शेयर सच अ स्पेशल बॉन्ड.
Nice.
And yeah, so those two women indirectly have shaped me.
Okay, so these are the people that were a part of your life.
Yes.
But then some, known person or a celeb or someone that you looked up to as a child.
To be very honest, मतलब एक क्लीशे लगेगा but I've never looked up to any celebrity ever. And I was never surprised or fangirling. I'll tell you one memory. Sorry, this is like detouring, but I'll make it short. We were traveling from somewhere to somewhere and Delhi airport पर layover था and it was me, my brother and other cousins of mine. और Kajol और Ajay Devgan, we saw them walking and they were like 10 feet away from us, crossing over. Of course, and we were like, oh my god, it's Kajol, it's Ajay Devgan वगैरह. आणि but we were unfazed. Me and my brother, we were not at all fangirling or fanboying at all at them. But then there were celebrities, they were famous, so we were like, हाँ चलो जाके autograph लेते. And me and my brother, I don't think my cousins also joined us because they got so nervous कि अरे बाप रे काजोल नहीं है. But me and my brother, we went in, we asked for autograph, she gave us the autograph, and we were just nonchalant. Like, so I've technically never looked up to any celebrity, but little older, 7th, 8th में कल्पना चावला. So tell me, we've been talking a lot about heroes and mentors or teachers. Do you have any funny story related to your mentors, क्या teachers or?
Not exactly, I don't think, because in Kashmir, I don't think I have had any mentor who is like mentoring me all the time. But then, I'll tell you one thing, I don't know if I should say this, but there are, some religious aspects of things which I was told कि ऐसे करते हैं वैसे करते हैं and things are like that. But eventually when I grew up, I realized कि oh my god, मैंने ये बाहर कहीं बोला कि मुझे ऐसा बोला गया है तो मुझे दुनिया से ही निकाल देंगे. So yeah, nothing funny, but I don't think I was taught anything that wasn't right. But yeah, some people in village who are very conservative and all. I'll tell you one funny story around it. Obviously Kashmir, seeing the weather, nobody wears shorts.
Of course.
Nobody wears shorts there. And in past few years, summers में 30 degree तक जाता है. So I was in my home in summers in COVID and we used to play football and I was wearing shorts and stockings. And one uncle saw me and he was like, he started scolding me कि ये क्या है, चड्डी में घूम के चड्डी में बाहर आ गया है, सिर्फ पतलून नहीं पहनने आती है कि तुम्हें कच्ची पहन के आ गया है. मतलब मैं अभी पुणे से वहाँ गया ही था एंड हमारा तो स्कूल यूनिफॉर्म शॉर्ट्स था. आई वाज लाइक कि ओके मैं शायद भूल गया हूँ कि यहाँ पे अलग कल्चर है. एंड आई वाज लाइक कि शाम को आने दे तेरे बाप को, आई विल टॉक टू हिम. आई वाज लाइक ओके फाइन, आ जाओ. कुछ ज़्यादा मतलब फॉर मी इट वाज़न्ट अ मिस्टेक, बट फॉर हिम लाइक ये कैसे बदतमीज बेशरम. एंड इन द इवनिंग ही केम होम एंड वो ना बाहर से गेट खोलते ही वो लॉन से ऐसे आ रहे थे, चिल्ला कह रहे थे कि ये मतलब ही वाज टॉकिंग टू माय फादर, घर पे ही हो क्या वगैरह वगैरह, तेरा बच्चा आज चड्डी में ही घूम रहा था, मैंने देखा उसे. एंड ही केम इन एंड माय फादर वाज आल्सो वेयरिंग अ 3/4. He was sitting in shorts. And that uncle centered and he was like and he just sat there and he sat like
oh no,
एक कप चाय हो जाती तो.
oh no.
He didn't say anything.
Oh my god.
But he was like, then he started, because he's very elder to my father also, then he told my father कि तू ही ऐसे ही बैठा यहाँ पे तो तेरा बेटा भी बैठा. He was like ये fine, ये कच्ची नहीं है, ये शॉर्ट्स है. And he explained to him very nicely and he got it. but it was very funny.
It is funny. Oh God.
Do you have any incident where, funny incident with your mentors, or any incident, like any mishap that you were taught and was not right, and then you realized when you grew up ki, oh my god, asana nastat, like things are not like that you were told they are. So do you have anything?
No. It was never like I was taught something that was not correct or anything. All my mentors, all my teachers were professionals in whatever they taught. So they taught all the right things to me. But I remember one time I was appearing for a singing exam, and while I was singing, my teacher was on the harmonium. Okay. And then she didn't change the sur. While I was singing, she just held on to one note and finished singing. And after coming out, I told my mother was not with me at that time. She must have been with my brother for some competition. So I had gone with my neighbor. And then I came out and I said ki Bai chukल्या. Anita, she was standing right behind me. So what I said was ki she did a mistake. My teacher made a mistake. And she was standing right behind me, and oh my god, I didn't realize it. Then my mom was called the next day, like, oh, how can your daughter say such a thing? She doesn't have any manners. She said this to me, vagare. And it was, of course, truly embarrassing for me to call my mom and scold me in front of all the class. And then growing up later, I was like, if that had happened to me right now, if one of my students would have pointed out my mistake, because I've had that experience, I don't think I would have reacted this way. I would have said, yes, you're right, I did do a mistake. It's okay if a mentor does that. And we need to normalize that a teacher can go wrong, because they're humans. We all make mistakes, and we should give teachers room to make mistakes, and we don't. So they have to uphold this, I'm the teacher, I cannot go wrong, blah blah blah. No, you can go wrong. True. Kids are not stupid, they will call out. And because kids, they don't have any filter. So I said it actually very innocently. I didn't want to be like, no, I was just like, because I was a child, na. If I don't get good marks, I'm going to be like, but it wasn't my mistake, it was hers. So I did that. And I'm sorry, I mean, if I ever meet her again, I would of course apologize ki I shouldn't have said it, but I didn't know better, A. And second, I should have, if I ever get a chance, it's be like, it's okay. You are a human, you're a teacher, but you are a human, so you can make a mistake. So that. Okay, tell me, what were your dreams for yourself?
My dreams for myself, I'll tell you, when I was very, very small, like till my third, third standard, I wanted to be an astronaut.
Really?
Yeah, and I was, because of Neil Armstrong, I had we had a lesson on him in my first or second standard, and I had watched some videos of him online or some interview on National Geography and all. And I had watched the documentary of that Apollo 11 that had gone to the moon. I was like, bro, ek baar duniya ko bahar se dekhna hai. Like, I was very small child, and I used to be like I used to convince everyone ki nahi jaunga main. And everyone used to make fun of me, and like funny, like not fun ki aise, but they used to feel like, oh my god, he actually thinks like that. But then in third standard, I got introduced to Comedy Nights with Kapil. And I was so much into it. I told you the other day that I had, in my laptop, I had the episodes. और मैं रट्टा मार लिया था वो सारे episodes. And once so I performed it in my school.
Oh, nice.
Each and every character I played it by myself.
Oh my god.
I was the Kapil Sharma, I was the Sidhu, I was the servant, I was Nawazuddin Siddiqui, I was Huma Qureshi, the guests. And I enacted the whole episode of Comedy Nights with Kapil.
Nice.
And so Kapil Sharma was one who influenced me, and I still like him, and he was an inspiration for me in my childhood.
And you wanted to be that?
Yeah, I still want to be. He's a good actor, he's a good singer, he's a good comedian. So I want to be a really good singer, I want to learn singing, I want to be a good actor, I want to be a good director, everything. So yeah, but now things have changed. Like I have grown up and now I know things better. So obviously, and I don't think the same. But as a child, I wanted to be like Kapil Sharma. I used to tell everyone कि तुझे क्या करना है बड़ा Kapil Sharma बनना है.
Nice, yeah. So cute.
And for you, was it like the same, or you were like, it happened just?
No.
It just happened for you.
Now that I have memories and I remember distinctively, of course I didn't have like a title कि ये बनना है बड़ा होकर, but I have this memory where me and my friends, we were sitting at my friend's house and I had told I am Madhuri Dixit, आप मेरा interview दो, and I must have been really small, like 3rd 4th standard. तो ऐसे कुछ तो कीड़ा था कि एक्टिंग, कैमरा, फेम, इंटरव्यूज लेते लोग.
Nice. You were influenced by all of this, like interviews of celebrities and
no,
movies
not at all.
and
केबल भी नहीं था जब बचपन में.
Okay.
So somehow कुछ तो बचपन से ही है. वो bug is in me since my conception.
From when did you know that you wanted to be an actor? Was it like when you were performing in school as a child, or eventually when you grew up?
One thing I knew for sure, that's one thing that I have loved the most.
Oh, nice.
I decided to professionally become an actor much later. When I was in college, second year में शायद I was like, no, this is what I want to do. Varna. But this is something that gives me immense joy. So that कीड़ा was there, and I remember telling my school friends कि कोई बोलता था साइंटिस्ट होना है, कोई बोलता था कोई इंजीनियर, and then I used to be like, आपको फेमस नहीं होना है, आपको टेलीविजन, आपको कैमरा का कोई शौक नहीं है. And nobody had any interest in, and I was like, मुझे बहुत शौक है, मैं यही करूँगी.
Same.
So then somewhere it was there.
You know, I sometimes get
always.
worried also, you know, like you told कि I later decided that I want to become an actor.
Yeah.
But for me it was from the childhood कि यही करना है. So I just get worried कि होगा ना ये.
No, you're in front of camera.
Finally, yes.
Okay, taking the segue and going into the segment.
Yes.
If you had to introduce, teach me. If I had to introduce myself to somebody who's taking my audition in Kashmiri,
Okay.
how would I say that?
So in audition,
So
what
you say your name,
you say your name,
from city, और आपको कौन से medium में काम करना है. So how will I say this?
Medium is like language.
नहीं, theater, film, music video, YouTube, ऐसा वाला medium.
Okay. So I'll teach you. So firstly, how we greet in Kashmiri is, I had told you already that we say Assalamu alaikum. So it is not actually Kashmiri, it is Arabic, but that's how we greet. So we say Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Mechunav. Diksha. Butchasak actor.
Actor.
Butchas. Actor. And you say where are you from na, and
where do you live?
Butchas Rozan Pune. Chess. You know chess, why I'm emphasizing on the pronunciation, because chus the chess are two different genders. Chess. Chus is for male, chess is for female.
Chess.
Butchas Rozan.
Butchas
Rosa Pune. And what do you want to do? Like YouTube. Film.
And YouTube.
Mech Karan film to YouTube.
Mech Karan.
Mech Banawin.
Mech Banawin film. Mech Banawin film. Yay!
So let's do it from the top.
Assalamu alaikum.
Mechunav
Diksha.
Good. Butchas actor.
Butchas
Rozan Pune. Mech Banawin film. Good. Nice. Oh my god.
No.
So
got too excited. Didn't break.
Yeah.
I can attach it.
So I taught you some Kashmiri today. Now it's time to check whether you have done your homework or not. So do you remember what did I teach you yesterday? Yeah.
Mechunav Diksha.
No, that is I taught you
No. See, the thing is, I'll tell you why, because then मैं किसके साथ रिहर्सल करूँगी? तो you need to start speaking to me in Kashmiri.
Fine.
At least मुझे समझ में आनी चाहिए.
Okay,
So.
fine. You have good reasons. Okay. What did I teach you? Actually, I have forgot.
Like teacher. See, teachers can forget.
Yeah.
I think.
What was it? Did I teach you? Oh my god.
मलाही नाही आठवत आहे. नाही आठवत आहे.
So now that you are learning Kashmiri,
Yes.
I am teaching you. It's like I'll have to make sure that you are learning it. So I'll take a test
What?
and we'll do it on camera. I'll see if you are practicing and if you are actually learning it
But
or
at
not.
the end of all the episodes.
It can be any time na.
Surprise.
Surprise. And on that note, guys, let's end towards conversation and slowly. Yeah, I think we have covered everything today.
So let us know how did you like it, and
Yeah.
please सबस्क्राईब करा बेपथर आमच्या चॅनलला, शेअर करा, लाईक करा, कमेंट्स करा. प्लीज लेट अस नो की आम्ही कशाबद्दल अजून बोललं पाहिजे. इफ देर आर एनी क्वेश्चन्स, प्लीज पुट इट ऑल इन द कमेंट्स बिलो.
So आप कमेंट्स में लिखिए जो भी आपको लगता है, and we'll love to read what you feel.
Yes.
And please subscribe, share and like. And what else can we see? We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
In Kashmiri also you need to appeal.
Yeah, I just सारनी क्वेश्चन वनन की मेहरबानी करियो तो या सब्सक्राइब ते करियो, शेयर ते करियो, कमेंट.
आबाद.
किछ मियोन अपील मैंने क्वेश्चन बायन की तो करियो सब्सक्राइब मेहरबानी करियो. बाकी छुमें तो 5 से ताम तो धन्यवाद.
Yes.
So on that note, guys, we'll take your leave.
See you in the next
See you in the
episode.
next one. Thank you. Bye bye.